Hello, Laura. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I am marvelous, and I just saw you talking to Glenn, so I wanted to quickly come in and find out about this, the MV88, because that looks really awesome.
It is really awesome, if I do say so myself.
Do you mind if I give you this lovely Shure microphone?
I don't. Thank you so much. So MV88 is a stereo microphone that you can plop right onto your iPhone, your iOS devices, iPad. It's a lightning port connector, and it basically allows you to get really great sounding audio and some kind of under the hood features that you can control within our Motive app. This is the Motive video app. There's also an audio only version, but just for example, I can control the mic gain right here.
Nice.
I can also control the file type that I'm storing. It's kind of hard to see from way back there, but
does it have an auto setting for the mic gain?
It does not have an auto setting per se.
But it defaults to a...
Right, exactly. So you would just adjust it manually because the faders are right here.
Okay, great.
Which is kind of a unique feature to the app. And then you can also adjust your exposure level here, which is nice, and the autofocus. Wherever you tap, it's going to autofocus for you.
I love that.
So then the coolest part, though, is being able to change the polar pattern with the MV88.
Great.
Just go into the app here, and I have some great options: stereo, monocardioid, bidirectional, and raw mid-side. So you can change that up, and it actually stores it to the mic itself.
Great.
So if you unplug it, plug it back in, it's going to remember your settings.
Lovely.
Which is really handy. So go back out and just start recording. There's some great presets for speech and music. And you can also adjust the mic gain within this setting here.
Oh, I see the limiter and the compressor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yep, so nice. Those are presets that you can adjust. The limiters defaulted to on, and then you could set it off and then also adjust your compression.
Right, and you've got down here wind noise reduction. That's nice.
Yep, there's also, it comes with this handy windscreen as well. So
really handy because, frankly, like YouTube's moving towards live streaming, Facebook's already there. For those of you that are doing live stuff and you want to capture it, yeah,
that's the solution right here for you. Just put it on, point it directly at your audio source, and you just have some great options because being able to change polar pattern, if you're wanting to do some mobile journalism applications, perfect for that.
Excellent.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. Great. Thank you very much.
All right, cheers, thanks.
Thanks.
So this is the PRS Archon. That's a modern high gain amp. It has a very nice and punchy clean channel, and obviously a wicked high gain channel. We provide 8 IRs with all 3 amps. The reason being, companies like you guys or Hammer make it such a big and nice and diverse IR packages. We didn't want to compete with any of you, right? So what we did is have the ability to use any 2 IRs in combination without any phase issues. Let's say you got your own Hammer and you got your favorite IR, and they not align and they don't start at the same point. So the first thing we do via this nice button is to align them to start at the same point.
That's great.
Okay. And that everybody can do that, right? You can open the door and edit that, and then you have the phase issues at the transient of the IRs. And we fix that too. And that's not such an easy task to do when you're a guitar player or otherwise. You want to play guitar, you don't want to sit down with phase meter and correct? And then after we did these 2 processes, we make the IRs sound the same at the same perceived level. So they will sound equally, equal loudness to you, even though they're not. And you can just change the cabinet mix from there. So that's a good starting point to have to fine-tune your sound. And then, when you got the phase alignment, the time alignment, and the mix alignment, you can export that to a completely new and unique IR.
Great.
Yeah, and use that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
Yeah, I like that a lot. It's a great idea.
What blew me away, though, about the whole thing is how it feels.
Yeah, you want to play?
Yes, I do. I haven't played guitar for 4 days because I've been here. Nice.
Well, actually, this is Paul's favorite settings for this amp. I just copied Paul's settings, and they work, obviously.
Great. Very Larry Cullen.
Indeed. Indeed. You can even go further with the mids and get it. There you go. The prototype for what PRS eventually produces as the John Mayer amp.
Oh wow!
This is the prototype. I have it.
It has that.
Exactly. And if you turn on the boost, check it out. Now
I'm of the age group from before John Mayer, but I know what you mean.
yeah.
We're probably closer in age than you think. Hair dye.
Yeah.
Well, you heard me play Larry Carlton and Jeff Beck, so.
Now we can sing a little bit more because of the boost. This one is a little bit boosted at the front end.
It's great. Love it.
Thank you, sir.
It's really good. And I love PRSs as well.
Yeah, man.
So nice little combination.
That's the loner.
Yeah.
That's the loner. Really nice loner.
I mean, it feels really good.
Yeah, it's a labor of love, man.
I'm not getting any feeling of I'm playing in my computer. Because, you know, I'm a producer and engineer.
Yeah, it's supposed to sound like you're sitting behind the glass and listening to a recorded amp.
Yeah, it's always, to be honest, the problem usually falls apart is when you do this.
Oh, well, this will clean up nicely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's when it starts to sound digital.
Yeah.
And it seems to, a lot of them just sort of come on out of nowhere. They don't have that, you know, I've got a lot of old amps. I've got the Mark II, Mark II JMP, and that the beautiful thing about the JMP is you just turn it down and it feels great. Yes. Here with Colin at BAE. How are you, my friend?
I'm really good, Warren. How are you?
I'm excellent. I want to know all about what's new and nutritious.
Well, what we've done for NAMM 2018 is pretty cool, I must say. We've gone ahead and launched UK Sound, and I think the rumors are out there. Everyone knows what we're doing, especially with your involvement in UK Sound and what we've done with the 1173 already. But let's talk about the full line.
Please do.
So I'm going to start with the UK Sound 1073. Now, it's essential to know one thing. Though we've lessened the price, we're not making them outside of California or outside of the United States. So I'll cover a few ways we made the item less expensive. First of all, we decided to use an internal power supply. So no more external power supplies. And we worked hard to tune it and make it work right with our gear. Second of all, single PCBs. These are not hand-wired units. We've gone to a single PCB. We've eliminated the cards, the hand wiring, just to bring some value to the customer. Really important for us to do. Thirdly, we've made it all compact in a way where we can build it with switching and transformers that also make sense for the unit and are a little less expensive, but we still go to Alman, we still go to some of the companies you're all familiar with that we use. The transformers are fantastic. All we've really done is bring the price point down about 50% for the consumer who's just coming into the market. So don't be discouraged when you get that
I'm not.
1073 and it sounds like $1 million. There's good reason for it. It's made by BAE and we have a know-how over 20 years. Next, we're going to talk about a unit that you're very familiar with, the 1173. I mean, I just can't say enough about how musical this unit is.
Wonderful.
I QC'd it. The mic pre with the compressor, all in one unit. My first vocal with it, I said to Mark, shoot, it almost sounds too good.
Yeah.
Really nice job. Below that, we have the UK Sound 73 MP. Those of you who know our products as far as the 73 MP, the MPF, the single, the dual, we've just gone ahead and taken the same technology and done what I said with the earlier model. We've gone ahead and streamlined it into a box that makes more sense for the consumer, the same types of things to make the price lower. And we're really offering everything at price points that are amazing, down in the $1,000 to $1,500 range versus much higher.
Yep.
Next are two of my favorites. Oh my gosh, when you guys did the 1173 and got all that going, this compressor, Mark and I just love this FET compressor.
Good.
So we went ahead and double rack mounted it, a stereo version with linkability, all the things you'd expect in a FET compressor. we can probably bring this in.
Yeah, what price point is this going to be at?
Just under $1,500.
Nice.
Now the single, you're going to have to pay a bit more, probably about $800 for a unit.
Right.
You're going to get, of course, a better price with the stereo.
Great. You get two of these for the same price as one.
Pretty much.
That's great, yeah.
And actually, a little less, when you
yeah.
get right down to it.
Yep.
We're also going to offer some 500 series units. Right here, we have a 73 MPL, and we also have a 312. Again, these are price points for the consumer, the entry level. This is where we want people to come into the market, understand our products before they go right up to the top, to the best ones. And I'll finish off with a new BAE product that I just love. It's the 3-space rack.
Great idea.
Let's face it, the R53, 5 for 500 series, 3 for 3 spaces. You got your mic pre, your EQ, and your compressor. Build your own channel, use whatever gear you like, preferably ours. It's going to sound amazing. And that really sums up NAMM 2018 for BAE.
Fantastic. Thanks, Colin.
You're welcome,
Appreciate
Warren.
it.
Thanks for dropping by.
Excellent. Cliff, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you, Warren?
Excellent. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
So we come back and talk about the Magnum and, of course, the EQ4, and just those people that don't know it. Basically, you have an air band on here, which
Yes.
I would say 5 out of 10 major mixers I know have this unit just to crank the air band on their mix.
On the EQ4.
Yeah, this is a very, very popular unit. I know
Oh, thank you.
both Dave Pensado and Bob Horman and Eric Rikers all have
Yeah,
it. All
yeah.
There's 3 of them in one building.
Yeah.
So very popular and beautiful sounding.
Thank you.
So, but tell us a little bit about it, since I started
Okay.
off talking about it.
With the EQ4M,
Yep.
what we did with the EQ4M is made one that that's a little different from the EQ4,
Right.
not frequency-wise, but we wanted it to be more accurate to the as we move one band pass to another. We literally take all of the potentiometers
Yep.
and we measure every single potentiometer that goes in this in the center position, and then we bin them in like 30 bins. So this probably doesn't matter to you much, but it matters to you when you go to grab the sub and push it 4 clicks, and you grab this sub and push it to 4 clicks, because they're matched.
Great.
And so every band pass is matched.
Great.
And so when you move either in any direction, you're going to get the similar response to the other side.
Makes it fully recallable.
Exactly.
Yeah, perfect.
And recallable back just
Yeah.
with the clicks.
I love the clicks.
So that's the main, that's the
Great.
biggest difference. And then there's another one. This has 18 volt rails, and so we're looking at 29 dB of headroom
Great.
in this unit, which
Great
we
on a mixed bus.
Yep, it's wonderful on the mixed bus.
Okay, and then the Magnum K.
And then the Magnum K, what this is a multi-set of things that's in the compression and the compressor and then in this unit. The first section is the input section with an attenuator and a separate input gain, which allows us to gain 2 different circuits to keep the integrity of the sound, to be able to gain or to be able to pull down the input gain if we need to.
Great.
And so that's to attenuate it back where we need it. If I'm coming out of Pro Tools, maybe a half a dB or 2 dB hot, I can just, and I don't want to change my mix, go in and change it, I can take and back it down and match the level so that it's going to drive this correctly.
Great.
Then the first section is a compressor, is a main compressor with all the functions. One thing that's different on this than most you've ever seen is it has a 4, 8, 12, and 16 dB of compression. When I'm at 4 dB, it won't compress any more than 4 dB. It compresses to 4 dB, and which is great when you're cutting a vocal.
Yeah.
Because then the vocal
Breathe.
you won't overdrive
Yeah.
the compression on the vocal. If you go to 8, then you're going to get in the area where you could, but you probably won't. But
Sure.
it does.
There's nothing worse. The
you
guy
got
or
it.
girl screams, suddenly it's choked
Bang.
like crazy.
Yeah, and then
that's
you
great.
haven't got a vocal that then you go,
Yeah.
man, I lost that
Great
greatest
perform-
vocal that ever happened.
But
I'll
it's-
never do it again the same.
But it's completely
Yeah,
crushed. Yeah.
right.
Great. That's a good feature.
Okay, then the ratio,
Yeah.
just normal that would be on any good compressor. And then also the threshold, there's your threshold. And let me get this playing again and we'll let it. And this, if you'll notice, the meter becomes the blue light. So that
Yep.
tells me, that I'm compressing right now, 8 dB of compression and you can see it functioning. And it has feed forward and feedback, attack, release, and then it has a side chain that allows me to determine where the bottom end is going to push from, or what's going to fly through in the bottom end.
Great.
So it has and you can go external and do a DS if you want with it. Also,
but that's nice. You've got 40, 80, 120, 220, and external feed.
Yeah,
Great.
right. And so I can go external, or I can take it clear out. Now the bottom end's driving it more.
Yep.
But now I like to let the bottom end kind of roll through, so I can, I like to keep that coming through because it works great.
That's a huge deal. Yeah.
Yep. And then it does feed forward, and feed forward it will actually change the ratio. At the rate, that's why I don't have numbers on the ratio, because it'll go to 30 to 1. I mean, 30 dB of compression easy when you're in that feed forward mode. In the feedback mode, it'll go about to 12, 13 dB of 13 to 1, 2 to 1 to 13 to 1.
Great.
So that gives you on the ratio. Then the thing that's unique about it, we have also what we call the K-comp. So this is a second compressor in the unit. The K-comp, it allows us to control, and right here's an EQ2 or 4, it allows me to control 2.5K. So now I literally have an entire EQ in there to be able to control 2.5K, and I determine where that's going to be, the amount it's going to be. You can see the limiter's just grabbing it, or the compressor is grabbing it right there just a little bit as that light clips on. And so I can turn it off, and now it's gone. Now I've got it back in and it's grabbing it again. I can preview it, and so that's a totally separate compressor that's in.
It's great.
So now I've got the compression done, and I've made up my gain to where I'm, back where I'm supposed to be, made up the gain of the 8 dB that I compressed. Now I'm putting in what amount of Magnum K, the K comp I want.
Yep.
Now what we have is an EQ2 that's in parallel with the compressed signal. So here's the compressed signal, and the EQ2 is riding with it. So now I'm going to take, and literally this knob on this EQ, they become your faders back at the console.
Great.
So you're going back to the console, you'd have to do it. I'm doing it inside of the box, so I kick in the LMF, which is on an EQ2. You know how those frequencies go.
Yep.
And right now I'm on the wide band at 220 on both of those. So now I'm boosting that amount of gain at 220, and I can preview it in and out. It's in and out of the circuit. And so that's putting it back in and being summed back to the sum of the compressed signal and the EQ'd signal are being summed right over here. Then I can kick in the air band and put that on top of it.
Very nice.
Go with all of and I can open up the mix from 40 cycles down to 10. And I don't have 2.5 or 5K that you see on an EQ2 because I'm controlling it here with the K comp. So now I can, set the high end where I want it. And once I get it set and I'm looking at 0 back into Pro Tools or back into your DAW, then I'll make up that gain to where I am. Then on the very end, I can kick in a soft limiter and I can gain another couple of 2 or 3 dB more, and just trim the trees just a little bit so that they're
great.
So that I can just get a little hotter mix than I had to start with.
That's fantastic.
So, and then there's one other thing. There's the link.
Yep.
You can kick those in with the guitar cable in back, and it'll control the ratio, the threshold, the attack, and release on 2 units. So if you turn one, whichever one you turn the most is going to be the one that it'll respond to with the compression and what you're doing to it. So that's pretty much it. I know that's a mouthful, but there's a lot in that box.
Love it. Thank you very much.
Yeah. One more thing. It would take like 34 cables, microphone cables, and 3 trips, stereo trips in and out of your console.
Yeah.
And 4 compressors, 2 EQs, and 2 limiters on top of your desk to do what I'm doing inside of this box.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, so that's it.
Thaness, Cliff.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Warren.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Stefan, my friend, how are you?
Well, it's so good to see you again.
It's great to see you too. You've been having fun at NAMM?
Yes, we had a lot of fun.
A lot of walking around.
Last day today, a lot of walking around, yes. Sometimes staying at the booth, doing some demos over there. So
have you done any of the late night parties?
I still have the rest of my voice.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
It is actually my birthday today.
Oh, congratulations.
Although it was so busy that my wife is here and I woke up in the hotel room this morning with the phone ringing,
Yeah.
and my mother's calling me, and I'm thinking, oh my God, bad news, something's happened in England. And I'm like, hello? But a totally hoarse voice, and she's like, happy birthday. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's my birthday. I mean, basically, it's so crazy busy here, so we forget, time just stands still.
Do you reveal in front of camera how much you turned this year? Must be
22.
20, yeah, I
22,
would have guessed that.
23, yeah?
Yeah.
22, 23.
Same age.
All right, so this is exciting. You've got basically full integration with Logic now.
Yeah, that's the news we have on this show, that with the newest Logic version 10.4 that was just released at the beginning of NAMM.
Great.
Melodyne now works much better integrated because Logic added the ARIA technology, which some of you might know from Studio One, Cakewalk and others, and now we're very happy that Apple made the move too.
It's great, especially with the changes that happened over at Cakewalk. This is great.
Yeah. So what it means, ARA is a technical thing. I don't want to bore you with technical explanation. But it's some addition to the normal AU, VST or AX thing. And as long as the plugin and the DAW both have ARA implemented, they do more kind of vocabulary in their communication.
Great.
What this means in Logic is easy to demonstrate. Say I have Logic here this is the lead vocal here. You know that how you work with Melodyne. I wouldn't want to explain this all. Just close this window and say I want to add 3 dub vocals. Down here we have 3 dub vocals, and we would then want to put Melodyne on it. Just grab my microphone shortly, then I can explain. So you select the tracks, go to the mixer, insert Melodyne on the first slot. It doesn't feel pretty new because that's how you did it before. So, but this time you can see there are 2 Melodynes, the normal Melodyne and the Melodyne ARA or ARA. And so you have, I can take it again, thanks. You have this empty window, and now you would look for the transfer button, but that's gone.
Right.
You needed to transfer the piece, play it back, and you don't need to do this anymore. You just hit play once, stop again, and as you see, all the vocals are right there, and just turn them on, and there you see the notes. It's still kind of calculating the pitches, and there you are.
Great.
So no more waiting.
That's perfect.
So that's the first advantage you have now. This speeds up time. And if you, for example, now you would edit them and do something with them, and say you, let me close all the windows, say you then, where are the dubs? Say you move them or copy them to some other place, and then I look into Melodyne again, hit play once, and there they are. Let me scroll so that you can see. Yeah. So there's automatically the action you did in Logic is reflected in Melodyne, and you have them as ghost copies. So if you do changes now in the one chorus, it will automatically reflect in the next. This is also an addition of this new ARA technology. Plus you can control the Logic playback from within Melodyne, and if you have several tracks in Melodyne, you have the mixing control from within Melodyne. You can, without touching the Logic mixer, you can solo them. So you work pretty fast. And for me personally, because I'm doing a lot of vocal editing and a lot of vocal comping actually, which I don't need to tell you, takes lots of time in your studio work. So the additions to it when you're comping are great. So let's switch to this take where I did some comp again, insert Melodyne on it. Now, before you would insert Melodyne on the comping result, this kind of flow, you're starting with take 1, then going to take 2, and the other way around. Then you would have Melodyne on the comping result, the borders where you switched, and say you decide to take this first take here, but you need to retune something, either change the melody or do some minor adjustment to it. And then you wanted to, this sounds okay probably, but you're not sure yet.
Sure.
What about taking trying another take? So you change your comp here, and again just hit play. This is the old version you just had before. And so this is the new one you're working on. And say you don't like this either, you want to return to the original one, and all your edits are still there. So that's the new thing that Melodyne now has kind of memory for what you did on the text. So why is this important?
Well, you don't have to bounce it every single time.
And if you would bounce it, it would cost you time, waiting time, and your edits would be gone. So what happened in Logic before, or other DAWs that don't have this ARA, you held off using Melodyne until you finished with your comp.
Exactly.
Then it was okay, then you did your Melodyne.
It's interesting, because quite often when I'm comping, I love a performance, I can't move on until I tune it to see if it will work. Exactly. So maybe that singer gave me something really gutsy, but they're missing the note.
May I ask you something?
Yeah.
When you have two takes, one with passion and some tiny issues here or there, tuning-wise or timing, and you have another one, a safe take with lots of perfection maybe, but
I
no
always
passion.
go for the passion. Always go for the passion.
Because you have a tool for the perfection. That's Melodyne.
Yeah.
And the other way around, we don't have tools for passion.
Yeah. No,
So-
I always go for the passionate performance.
Exactly.
Always.
Who wouldn't?
I think
Feels
it's the
more
way
natural.
everything's got to move. Everything's got to move towards this. But it's only going to be programs like yours, and it's going to be high-level stuff. I don't think.
There are a few other plugins out there who use this ARA technology also, like Vocaline, for example. They have it since some time already. They have it. And others announced it here at NAMM too. So it's an ongoing process.
It's wonderful to hear.
And it's for many usages. And what we also revealed at this show is the specification for ARA version 2, and Apple actually are the first one to have it in the program. Reaper will be soon the next, and this even gives you more vocabulary to talk about between the plugin and the DAW, which will result in new features we don't have today, but we will have soon, and it will be spectacular too.
Wonderful. Well, thanks, Stefan.
You're welcome.
I
Nice
really
talking
appreciate
to
it.
you.
Always good to see you. Jason, how are you?
Fantastic, Warren. How are you doing?
I'm good. This is Jason Sheridan from Bose, and we stopped to look at this. It's the S1 Pro, and it's this very light, well, light for me.
15 pounds.
And I'm not strong, so it must be light. It's powered, but it's also battery powered. And it's a remarkable little device because it's a little mini PA, great for busking, great for pretty much everything. What can you tell us about it?
So a couple of cool technologies. This is the best of our L1 products, which are big, tall line arrays.
Oh,
and,
wow.
It's three 2 1/4-inch drivers, like in that speaker. And then we take the best of our F1 technology, which is a 6-inch driver, put them together in this micro PA. And the core technology is that it's got an accelerometer in there. So as it's a multi-position PA, so depending on where you're going to position it, that changes the EQ to maximize the sound quality. So it can be up on a speaker stand, it can be on a tabletop, you can set it on the floor as used for a stage monitor, you can pop it like that. And as you said earlier, it can be battery powered, so you could take this out and use it at your pool, put it in your backyard barbecue.
I'm actually thinking about artists that are trying to get little gigs and go to coffee shops and say, can I play a coffee shop? And they're like, we don't have a PA. You're like, I do.
It's exactly for that, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
For the busking, for the coffee shop.
Yeah.
Walk in, throw it under your dashboard, and you're at your gig.
It's a great idea. And how much is it? What's the retail?
These are $5.99.
That's a good price.
And then
always got reverb.
Yep. The battery power, the battery pack is $99. We also do a thing called tone match. So a novice PA user can walk in and set his guitar up, put it into the guitar mode, and it's EQ'd for guitar.
Great.
Plug your microphone in, turn the tone match on for microphone, and it's EQ'd for microphone.
Simple but nice, effective touch. Is a different reverb volume control for each instrument.
You got it.
Very subtle, but yeah. And that's great.
And also, in this day and age, we need Bluetooth. So one touch, you can turn it on with Bluetooth, sync it to your phone, and play backing tracks.
Nice. So you're one man, you come in, one man, one girl, you come in, you play some music, and then you have the background between sets.
You got it.
Lovely. That's really nifty. Okay, and we're also going to do, reaching down over here, a giveaway. So what's this?
This is a SoundLink Revolve Bluetooth speaker, and it does 360 degrees of Bluetooth. So you link up your phone to your Bluetooth speaker, and away you go.
Fantastic. So we're going to give it away. You know what to do. There'll be a raffle. There'll be tons of information floating around the screen somewhere here. So enter to win that. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jason. I
Good to
really
meet you.
appreciate it.